Hey guys, this is Adam with TAT Express, and today I'm going to show you how to find a coolant leak on your semi. So let's roll that intro and get this video started.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the Lord.
Okay, we got a D12 Volvo here. Customer is reporting 1 gallon of coolant loss a week. He's been out for a month. That's a lot of coolant to lose. So we're gonna be looking for cross-contamination. If he's losing coolant in the engine, we should be able to see it in the dipstick. So when I pull the dipstick, what I'm looking for, when oil and coolant mixes, it's gonna make a milky substance. It's gonna look real milky, like chocolate milk. As you can see that's pretty dark. So for coolant to be going into the oil, I'm gonna go ahead and say that's not going there. So we're gonna keep on moving. The next thing we're gonna check, as I mentioned, is gonna be his fuel. Okay, so his fuel filter is gonna be on the other side, or his fuel water separator is. So we're gonna move on this side of the truck and check that out. Okay, so we're on the passenger side of the truck. This fuel filter housing is a little bit easier to pull a sample from than the spin-on filters on the driver's side. So we're gonna pull a sample, and of course what we're looking for is cross-contamination. These particular trucks have injector cups, so if you have a failed injector cup, of course you're gonna have coolant in your fuel. So we're gonna check that out next. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. What the injector cup does during engine operation is keep the tips of the injector cool, and as I mentioned, if you have one fail, you should have some cross-contamination here in your fuel filter housing. I'm pulling the sample now. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Okay, so I'm taking a look at this fuel, and of course it looks just all fuel. Usually when you have cross-contamination, the coolant's going to be collected at the bottom. That's why it's good to just go ahead and drain that from the bottom to see if you got any coolant. If there is coolant in the system, that's going to be the first fluid that's going to be falling out of that filter housing. Okay, so the next thing we're going to be checking for is an external leak. You want to check all your coolant hoses. There's coolant hoses run all over this truck. You have coolant hose coming from your degas bottle. You're going to your radiator, going down to your compressor. You also got coolant hoses here going to your fuel filter housing. Coolant hoses will run here into your heater area. You got the heater hoses here that run back to the sleeper. You want to follow those to the back. Make sure you don't have any leaks. We've kind of checked over this truck already. Couldn't really see anything up here. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to go under the truck. Some of these trucks will have a transmission cooler which actually routes the coolant to the transmission. On the newer model trucks, they don't have that, but you want to make sure you check that transmission out to see if it has coolant going to the transmission. So let's jump up under the truck and see if we can find something. Okay, so we're up under the truck, and right away you can see we got a constant drip going on. So the next thing I'm gonna do, since we couldn't find this up front or up top, what I'm gonna do next, I'm gonna go ahead and pressurize the system so I can get a better idea where this is coming from. But as you can see, we got a drip going, so we're getting closer. So let's keep on moving. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do, we're gonna pressurize the system. What I'm going to use is a manual pressurizer. You can get different sizes. You're going to have to get different sizes, of course. Different degas bottles have different caps. This particular cap is made for Volvo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add this pressure into the system. What that's going to do is going to force it to leak a lot faster, and that should make it a little bit easier for us to find. So let's go ahead and do that next. I'm going to go ahead and pull this cap off. Anytime you remove these caps from your truck, make sure that the truck is not hot. One thing you can do, you can squeeze this hose here, and that hose is going to show you if there's any pressure in the system. Of course, as you can see, it doesn't have any pressure in it. So I'm going to go ahead and open this cap up. Then I'm going to add the fitting. This fitting, what it's going to do is help fit this tool onto this degas bottle so we can use this manual pump. When you put air into your system, you only want to put about 15 pounds, no more than 20. Usually around 15-20 pounds, you're going to be able to feel or actually see where your leak's coming from. Most caps, coolant caps, are going to be rated at a 15 to 20 psi safety. So what that means is when your cap or when your cooling system reaches 15-20 psi, that cap's going to actually let that pressure be released. So what I'm going to do now, as you can see, this hand pump has a gauge on it. It's a manual gauge. I'm going to go ahead and start pumping. Since that coolant leak is pretty consistent, we should be able to see it pretty quick. So I'm only going to put maybe about 5 pounds in it for now. So that's 5 pounds. You can see it's dropping a little bit slow. Actually, it leveled out right there. I can hear the drip a lot louder now. Let me get some light on it. Okay, yeah, I found a leak here. Let's get a good look at that right there. So you can see that coolant coming out of that hose right there. Let me see if I can get a better light on it here. Okay, so that looks like a coolant leak coming off the compressor. What that does is coming off the block to the compressor. What it looks like to me is somebody didn't use the right clamps, the right setup for that, and it might have been repaired in the past. I'm going to go ahead and release the pressure so we can stop leaking. Okay guys, so not every time you're going to find a leak this easy, but if you follow the steps that I've highlighted, you should be able to find your coolant leak. Of course, we found this one. It looks like a block to compressor hose that's leaking. Looks like somebody may try to repair that before. They didn't use the right clamps. We're going to go ahead and put OEM parts on that, get that all buckled down for the driver, retest it. Should be good to go back on the road. So I hope you guys liked the video. Make sure to subscribe, turn on the notifications so that you guys know next time when we release another video. So until next time, guys, be safe.
Came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running.